It's a hump day. Giannis, welcome to Face. You new here?
Actually, Giannis, I met him in person.
Okay.
The time I met Steve and his wife when I went
Oh,
to Greece to baptize my son and go to my in-laws' wedding, and I met Giannis in person at the top of a hotel bar with Steve and his wife.
okay.
So he's
All
coming
right.
back and revisiting us after a decade.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Hotel California, huh, Giannis? You could check out, but you could never leave. That's trading. And you know what? That's Forex Analytics. Once we've got you, you'll have to go see a psychiatrist to be able to stop coming to Forex Analytics because you'll love it so much. All right. Anyway, let's go to work. It's is it ECB day today, Blake?
It is Bank of Canada Day today, and
Okay.
it is also a day of just before Taiwan semi and Netflix earnings day, which would be tomorrow, and the
Okay.
ECB would be tomorrow.
Okay. It's
Yep.
interesting. You know, Netflix is the only one that really looks like it has a shot for new highs. I was
You know what's
looking.
crazy about Netflix, and I was been having this conversation over the last couple of days just because and you're right, it's one that's actually looks half decent. They're
Yeah.
they're like targeting the they want to be $1 trillion market cap and blah blah blah. And I'm like, well, you gotta get away from having shit content because your content sucks. I mean,
You know,
they
I've been
throw out a
asking myself, yeah, I've been asking myself, do I really want it anymore?
that's the thing. I don't and this
I
is a
don't see many great movies on there anymore.
no, and it's all like second tier crap, and it's like a lot
Yeah.
of rom-com second tier stuff from people you've never seen before. But more importantly, it's like in a recession, I would have looked at, you start looking at like auto part places
Yeah.
like, Riley's or whatever,
Bars,
AutoZone. Yeah, you look at
bars.
Walmart and you look at Costco. Oh, those are good defensive plays. Netflix would have been a good defensive play, but now there's so many other streaming options. I don't think that that is necessarily a great play on if we have a recession. I'm just saying, and
Yeah.
that's a whole other discussion, but I'm just not a big fan of
Yeah, I'm
Netflix.
just saying compared to like, here's Microsoft, rally to resistance. And I was going to talk to you about it. I mean, everything, I went through the whole board yesterday and everything looks like it went to resistance and it's coming off. So I don't
Yeah.
know. I really think the market right now is, I could see both sides. And
Well,
I had much more conviction at the top in calling a top than I do, just because it hit the line thinking this is a bottom. But all these stocks came off resistance. The only thing that doesn't know about resistance, it doesn't exist anymore. Look at that. And now silver's
yeah.
trying to
Yeah,
catch
and
up.
and by the way, we just hit the 161% extension. The 261% extension actually is where the completion of the that pennant is would be, it's like 3350 or something. I have to go back and look at it. It's on our platform. But yeah, when you're talking about equities, and I'm sure Ryan and Kman are going to have a lot better color on this because they've been talking
Uh-oh.
about it since this morning. China's open to conversations, but they don't want to be offended, which all I have to say is, just go send in our vice president and they'll definitely be offended. But Japan's in the mix now too, so that is helping futures off the lows. And like I said, I'm sure Ryan and Kman can talk about some of the specifics that are lifting us this morning. So off the lows anyway.
Okay. Um, let's go to the guys. All right. Good morning, Ryan.
Morning,
I know
sir.
you. I know you have your sea legs back by now. It's 72 hours at the max at your age. It used to be 10 minutes. Now it takes. Now we give you 3 days.
Yeah, for the eyes to
But
adjust.
yeah, so I look at the euro here with the coming up tomorrow that I didn't know, but it still looks like that this still could be corrective. I think we will take out these highs. But could we pull back to 112 first?
Yeah,
Anything that could
absolutely.
drive it there?
Absolutely. I think if the ECB are a bit more dovish than the market expects, I mean, 2 weeks ago, everyone was looking at potential pause, and now everyone thinks they're going to cut and potentially keep cutting. So if they do strike a dovish tone, we could see a decent dip.
Okay.
But it's looking pretty much similar price
Temporary.
action to when we broke up above
Yeah.
that run from 105 to 108, and then we sort of went
Yeah.
sideways a little bit, and then we had another move and another move.
This was a tip off. I mean, we couldn't even
Zero
pull back
pullback.
to
Yeah.
38% on
And we
that
were
one.
saying, yeah,
Yeah.
we were all saying it. It's not dropping back at all. Yeah, it's had some help and some volatility. 115 is my big number. That's my
Okay.
112, my 105, my 107. So 115 is a real humdinger of a level. You're talking decades for that one.
Well,
So
okay.
that's
I'm
where
I,
I left my
I'm
peepers on.
hearing 117 and change or something for targets. And it's interesting. If you just look at your charts, you'll notice things, right? So between this high and this high was about 300 or so. So between this high and the next high, if it's another 300, it's 17. Um, Dollar couldn't even get back to fill. I had a little gap here on the 4 hour that I don't see that it filled. I don't see anything bullish here.
No,
Nothing. If
no,
we do make a new low though this time, maybe I'm here 98.60 or something like that, and then another rally to 101 and then down to 96. And 96 would complete the whole first wave down. So that would be, we get a bounce for 4 and then one more decline for 5. So this whole thing is wave 1.
yeah.
So then I think we get a better correction once we complete that.
Yeah, I was going to say put it on a wider chart, maybe a weekly or something, and because that 115 is probably going to coincide with a huge level in the Dixie somewhere, probably
Okay.
maybe 94s, 93s, somewhere around there.
Okay. All right. Well, you were talking about 1400 from 110 is 96 with equality. So that might be it. Uh, I think for that, there's a wave guys say that's the end of one. Okay. One down. So then you get a two, and then you really get a puke. So, um, Canada was a great idea by Blake, and then Blake flipped it yesterday. The only thing I could see here possibly is I see a doggy bottom. So here's the doggy. It's 2 legs and tail, and here's the head of the doggy. And what do you?
Wolf.
He's not lifting his right
Is
leg
it eating
to
right now?
pee. Anyone have a milk bone for Canada? Give Canada a milk bone. Anyway,
Someone
we
needs
can
to
get,
throw him a bone.
yeah, maybe we hold, put in a higher low, and pop again. Any
I might get
thoughts?
stopped if your dog puts his tongue out.
Okay. Anyway, it's been to the groomers. It looks pretty clean. We'll see what the doggy does today. Um, how you doing? You have any pets, Kman?
No, no, not right now. We used to
Uh,
have pets, but no, not at this very moment.
okay. All right. So, what are you doing?
Uh,
What did you say on the flow show?
I bought gold again last night late, just because it just did not want to go down. I'm actually traveling extremely light. I was short euro sterling, bought it back yesterday as well. But I think the dollar is still in
Bear. Bear
we have
market.
a word of a world of pain, let's say. I it's still looking off it. It's still looking off it. I'm looking for levels to at least intra sessions or over a couple of days to still be short. I think it's still my overall bias that I have right now.
Do you have any kind of biases in yields?
No, I am. When I look at the Z10, I'm starting to be a bit worried that I may have missed that 109. Yeah, you told me as well that I'm going to have another chance perhaps to buy note futures lower. Other people as well thinking that there is another one other leg coming. But if that leg comes, I will probably buy some, and try to get short. If you look at it from the inverse side, try to get short yield somewhere. Um, yeah, that's what I'm thinking right now on the bond market.
Yeah. Okay, because maybe that happened.
Yeah,
I was
I
looking.
mean,
I mean,
nothing is to be,
right here, maybe. I
yeah,
mean,
nothing
this
is to
was,
be
and now
excluded.
we're heading down, but it sure is herky jerky, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, and that's we've been talking about that. It was to be expected. It was going to be so jumpy. People jockeying between growth worries or inflation worries, and that's when you see the bond market doing all kinds of funny things. Um, yeah, but in no, in well, in general, and that is my feeling. I'm waiting for perhaps lower bond prices to start to leg into some. Yeah.
So if we like this is a bond, so you want to see TLT break support, head
That would
lower,
be
then
lovely. That would
okay.
be lovely if we would get an inflation panic move to the downside in bonds. I think that'll be lovely.
But the question would be, and this is the question I posed in the Forex Analytics chat room this morning, Kman, and good morning, Ryan
Morning.
Kman. Good morning, guys. If we see another leg lower in TLT, we see and just I'm sure you can tell here, Dale, just by looking at your charts, we're stalling at like a 38%
Yeah.
retracement on like the 10-year, and the 30-year doesn't look much better. So that's just really shallow bounces. If we get another
Yeah.
sell-off in fixed income,
Yeah.
does the dollar respond positively with higher yields, or does it
No,
get smacked again?
smacked. Bad inflation is bad for a currency.
Right. So again, this is goes back to the conversation from last week that now obviously everybody's talking about it, but last week I was like, "Hey, look, we got a problem. Stocks are selling off, bonds are selling off, and the dollar's selling off. That is a problem." And now it's like the everybody's discussing it now.
Look
And
at
we
the
were talking about
target
it.
on look at the target on TLT.
Yeah, I mean, well, what happens there? I mean, that's another scare. I mean, that's another
That's a guilt moment.
that's a Liz Truss moment, right?
Yeah.
Right, guys. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, look
that's
at what happened to cable when the guilds exploded.
exactly that's the whole
Yeah.
issue and the thing we've been talking about for the last week. And
Well,
and
we've
so
been
if we
talking about that
see,
for months.
yeah, we see that happen, and again, that's going to be crazy. So I think everybody's now cued
Or how
into it.
about
So
this? This is a big head and shoulders from uh what's this high? 157 with a 85 neckline. That takes you to 10
Yeah.
or
Uh,
zero. I'm kidding.
zero,
the
which
reason
It
we
the
can
takes
reason
the
joke
whole
about
why
it,
I
but
it's
the
yeah.
like
reason why
crude.
I
It's like crude to go negative.
mm, the reason why
Um
I would buy into a bond sell-off right now, and I'm not saying I'm going to buy it today or tomorrow, but the reason I would buy now in a bond sell-off is that I think sooner or later, that bad inflation, if that is materializing, is going to also materialize into lower growth. And I think at one stage the market should at least wake up and go, okay, I mean, inflation is one thing, but if growth is really starting to get hit, the market is going to turn around.
All right,
And
listen.
buying bonds is not going to be a safe haven. Buying bonds is going to be something is really rotting, and growth is coming down, and then your yields will come down as rapidly as they may shoot up due to
Okay.
inflation. Well, that's how I look
Maybe it'll
at
be
it.
foreign bonds.
Hmm?
Like Blake was saying the other day, maybe it'll be in non-dollar denominated bonds instead of
That's already
ours.
happening, right? That
Right.
rebalancing that is already.
But if we get a sell-off in our treasuries, it's going to drag down global treasuries too, I think.
Oh yeah, I mean,
So,
yeah, no shadow of a doubt. They will always follow from a distance, but we're talking about specifically the U.S. market here because it's let's say the U.S. facing trading partners right now. So I mean, they are going to follow from a distance, but they could also we could see a rebalancing to the other side if there are really very big growth concerns.
yeah.
The rest of the bonds, I don't think that they will survive. Oh, I mean that they will stay low either.
Okay. What's nice about the app is that you're not just getting the prices, you're getting the website and you get push notifications so you're not locked into your office all day. And most of you guys can trade from your phone too. So you don't have to, sit in the house or wherever you trade from all day. You can still go on with your life and know that there are great eyes of experience, right? Watching out for you when you're not in front of things, if you don't have things set up mechanically. I mean, you're talking about a lot of experience. So, I think it's a great deal if you only got Grega here compared to, what he charges. It's a better deal. And then you have everyone else. Okay. This guy, forget the host. Andre, Leandro, if you're Spanish, Leandro and Andre are great. And you guys know Kane. The flow show's been taken off, but it's what they do in between shows that makes their P&L. It's not what you do during a show. It's how you show what you do. Okay. So anyway, take advantage of this because I don't know what happened. Cupid shot Blake in the butt with a generosity arrow, and he really took prices down. And then you have it forever, for as long as they keep the game going. Um, anyway, let's go back to the markets here and talk a little bit about risk here. So, what are you thinking, Blake? Here's the monthly on the S&Ps. So, if we take out these lows, I mean, that's a pretty simple. I think I talked about it with Grega, but it would negate this whole run that we had in 23. We've already, done it intraday,
Yeah.
but under 48 and call it 61, that takes you back to the October 22 lows at 3,500. Greg is saying four. I know some guys are thinking we're just going to break down and only go to 4,500. I don't know why I have this line here, but that's another level. Um, and I could see the other case coming too. I mean, President Trump said you're either going to be with us or China. I think that's also part of the weakness in the markets today after he said that. Is that true? Or was it an earnings driven sell off in S&Ps today? Anyone
Well,
know?
at first, the whole reason why the market's down, I think the market's becoming very, and here, I'm going to go ahead, if you don't mind, we
Okay.
have retail sales coming up.
Yeah, go ahead.
So,
Oh, for retail, before you go. All right.
yeah,
That was one of the leaders, which, I started following retail from Mish, XRT. And it has signs which you would think would be ridiculous. It has some signs that it might bottom. Anyway, I can't find it, but take a look at your XRT chart.
Okay.
Go
Yeah,
ahead.
here, let's just pull it up really quick. You know, the thing about I think we have to be really careful with as a consumer and the behavior of obviously the consumer at these levels. But this is your XRT, and
Yeah.
yeah, I guess it would be kind of scary below here.
Yeah.
You know, as far as I still look at companies like I still think that like the Walmarts of the world and Costco's of the world are going to do really well, and they're very large market caps, and you know, so I still think they're okay, but it's like certain. I mean, like here's one company I would
They
not want to be
can't
long
get
right now.
toys. They can't get toys for Christmas.
Yeah, that's true.
They can't.
Restoration Hardware, I would sell
Yeah.
the crap out of this thing. I am actually looking forward to buying some puts on this. I don't see anybody buying $4,000 couches right now, or $6,000 couches for that matter. This is a very, very high-end luxury retailer that I think is just going to get smashed. The next time the market takes a hit, Restoration Hardware is probably going to get cut in half from here, in my opinion. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. You were talking about the 4,800 in the S&P. I'm going to tell you guys something that I've told the Forex Analytics community in our community, and you know this is our this is like the trades room, but we have a lot of conversations about in the general chat room about all sorts of things and about like how we feel about the bond market and the 10-year, and this is the chart I was referencing. And how feel about the dollar. If you're not having those conversations, you should be taking advantage of the pricing that we have. Speaking of which, I have to mention this before I talk any further because I put a post-it note on my computer for this morning. If you guys took advantage of the offer, that is the liberation offer. You have to go over to if you're already a member and you want to take advantage of this, go over to your settings and go over to your plans. You have to manually do it. If you don't do it, we have to manually do it for you. So we are finding that some of because we've never offered prices this low, we have to do it manually, which is it's a process, but we're getting through it. We didn't anticipate this, but hey, that you offer prices as low as we did, we're bound to break something, and the automated process is it. So make sure you get a hold of support, which is right here if you can't do it yourself. And if for some reason you get charged, like a full price because you're at, normally at $150 a month, don't worry, we'll refund you the difference and we'll make sure you're on the right plan. But contact support for those of you that are current subscribers. And if you're a new subscriber, you took a $1 trial. If you get charged $150, that is just, we have to manually reverse that. We'll do it, and we've done it multiple times. Matter of fact, I've got to do a few of those this morning from yesterday. But just don't worry about it. We'll make it right. We just one of the things that we did is we offered this ridiculously low price, and by doing that, it zapped our automated processes. So just be aware, be patient with us. We're doing the best that we can to help you guys out. And so if you, like I said, if you took advantage of the offer, don't worry, just jump into support. We'll make it right. It might take a couple of days because of the way that credit cards work from settling process, but don't worry about it. We'll get you all set up and make sure you're locked in at that low price. So I just want to mention that. I'm going to talk about it on our private shows too, just because we've had a few different things. I did want to also mention this with gold. If you guys haven't seen this is that pennant that we're talking about. You can see how we're at the 161% extension. Well, that pennant, just so you guys know, it actually extends to the 261% extension, which is up here at 3,500 eventually. When you have gold sitting at its highs and it's not pulling back, that means it's probably got further to go. So just wanted to bring that up. Now, Dale, I want to go back to what I was just saying about the S&P. If you guys have been, with us since, let's just call it the great financial crisis, and a lot of you guys have been chatting with me since before then, before we even had Forex Analytics. I've always talked about the dollar being a safe haven currency, but not until you get into periods of duress. When the market becomes it's under duress, that's when the dollar really, when everybody just kind of says, you know what, F it, sell everything, put me back into cash. That put me back into cash hasn't meant put me back into dollars. It's been, buy me some dollars, but diversify me into some euros. And we've been getting that behavior as of late. If we break below 4,800, Dale, this is where I will, and I told this to the Forex Analytics community this week, and I'm telling you guys now, I've told them privately, but I think it's such a big deal, is if we do break 4,800, I don't care what I'm doing. I don't care where the dollar's at. I will be buying dollars at that point. That's when the market goes risk off. We start breaking below the 200 DMA, not the 200 DMA, that was the 200 week moving average, but we break below 4,800 in the S&P. That is when the wheels come off the bus, if you will. And that's when the market really goes into risk off. And I don't know if we're going to do it. As we talked about earlier, China's open for discussions. If the U.S. shows respect. Now that is a key point that I think we need to be paying attention to. I'm Chinese. I'm half. I was born in Taiwan, and I'm half Chinese or Taiwanese, which is basically Chinese. Chinese are very, very proud people, and they don't like to be disrespected. And if there's something that I'll say about this administration is they are disrespectful to a lot of people, and as an American, and no matter which side you fall, you have to acknowledge the fact that the way their approach has been very abrasive. And so this is going to be a key point moving forward, in my opinion. So the market's cheering this morning that China's open to talks. And what was the Japanese headlines or the Truth Social post, Kman, that you posted in our chat room today about Japan?
Yeah, the meetings are starting, and apparently just below there, Trump said that he may even greet them also. He will attend the meeting. So yeah, I mean, there may be some news coming up from Japan relatively rapidly.
Yeah, so I think the markets are really cheering that as of right now, and which is great. I mean, you can see futures are off the lows, and everybody's optimistic. But like I said, we've seen a very abrasive Trump administration, and I know as an American, and I know a lot of people really are proud of that. But that doesn't mean that that's going to necessarily be good for progress with China. So that's why, from a trading point of view, we have to be a little cautious about these headlines, because I'm not sold on the idea that things are going to be really smooth from here. So that's what I'm pointing out this morning, and that's something I think we should be paying attention to as we go through today. We have just a few minutes, and well, actually, we have just a minute until retail sales. So let me go ahead and pull up the data flash.
J.D. Vance didn't exactly grow up in a mansion.
Yeah. Hillbilly eulogy. I mean, that's our
So what's the
hillbilly,
difference
whatever.
between a hillbilly and a peasant?
Yeah. So anyway, you're right, Dale.
One
You're right.
has to walk over hills. Anyway,
Sorry, guys.
go ahead.
I'm just I'm resetting all the charts
Oh,
here,
yeah.
and
What
then
do we
let's
got?
get the retail sales over. Sorry, I didn't mean to.
It's all right. I bought something yesterday.
4 seconds. Here we go. Ryan, yell it out. We have S&P to the left, dollar index in the middle, and the 10-year
In line, slightly warmer. Control
It
group
says,
softer. Headline in
Oh,
line. Control group slightly softer. So a little bit
okay.
worse.
Control group. Explain what the control group is.
It's like the core sales when you strip out all sort of big ticket items, all the gas, autos, and all that other sort of stuff.
And the dollar is a little weaker as a result. So the core retail sales are higher, but the control group is a little softer. And you're seeing the dollar index actually pull back just a little bit. Futures haven't moved a whole lot, but we do have the Bank of Canada today, which do you guys have any flavor on that? Dale, you don't have an interview, do you, right now?
No, but I would like to mention that normally we would have Harold Malmgren with us, and
Uh,
I hope you guys enjoyed as much as I did having the opportunity to talk to Harold for many years and get his wisdom going all the way back to the Kennedy administration.
Absolutely, Dale.
So
He was a wonderful guest that
yeah,
you
I
you
loved
you
him.
brought on.
Yeah, so he went home, and so just remember, Harold, we're losing some good men that were around in the day. Okay, so that's it. I didn't want to replace him today. I
Yeah,
I
and
I left a hole in left a
hopefully in the
hole in the
future,
calendar.
you'll be able to bring on Pippa and have her as a guest every once in a while.
Yeah,
And,
I should reach out and try that
uh,
again.
yeah, I know she really likes talking with you, Dale, and she would be a good person to have here
Okay.
in Harold's memory. So
Yeah. Hey, great
yeah.
idea.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So anyway, since we don't have a guest today, we'll go around the horn and kind of see what everybody's looking at. Dale, I'll give you a chance to think about that. Let's go back to Ryan. Ryan, for today, what are you going to be focused on this session?
I'm going to be seeing if I can ride my dollar CAD through the Bank of Canada. It'd be
Okay, so
like
you're long dollar cat. So I just want to tell you how we played this yesterday. So Ryan was I was on the short side. No, I was long. I got long, and then I got out early. But Ryan stayed. You stayed long, didn't you?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And he's
As we
still
You
talked
stayed
long.
about
long. You milked that one for a lot, which is great. And I turned around and put in a pattern in play on the short side yesterday on the CAD and just closed that out this morning ahead of the Bank of Canada. And I think the 140 level is pretty big. But you think we might break it today?
well, I'm not. I don't think we might break it today.
You know.
Well, I know for 100% certain that it might go somewhere. But yeah, my level after the CPI was at 136, 60, 70. I've got a line in there, which was a big. It was part of the
Seven.
former highs going back into last year and beyond. And my decision maker was whether we finished above or below that line after the CPI, and it was above. So I decided to have a little nibble, scratch the itch. It did run into a big level, 139.7780. Again, another former high going back to 2022, I think. So now we are bang in the middle. So all to play for. But if we get a dip, if the BOC maybe goes on pause and says it's going to be extended pause, and we get a bit of a buying in dollar CAD, if we hit that 138, 60, 70 area and hold it, I'll probably add back to my position, and because that would potentially signal a bit of a bottom for this pair.
Okay. Sounds good. Kman, I know we have Pal speaking a little bit later today. What are you thinking as we go into today's trade?
Yeah, I don't think Powell will give us much more than what he did a week and a half ago or so. Has a lot changed? I don't think so. No, as I said, I'm still a dollar rally seller somewhere. Always look at the currencies that are most prone to continue to rally, and I'm kind of thinking about picking up perhaps a dip in the cable or so. And I'm a little bit with Ryan as well. Very small long dollar cat. There's me. I have like perhaps a bit different kind of view on that dollar cat. I think there's a very good support zone all the way from 138.40 down to 137.30. But obviously we need to get above that 139 and a half, 139.80, and then We can talk a bit of it a bit higher. See, it's a near 50-50 chance on the Bank of Canada decision, I would say.
All right. Well, I mean, yeah, and I can see this like channel support being pretty strong, even if we hit new lows. You can't get like super comfortable being on the short side down here, just knowing that this channel is pretty evident at this moment in time. So I
Well,
could
you
see
could get
why.
mad at Canada and
Yeah.
start yelling at them.
Yeah, yeah, we could do that. You know, and Dale, I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna come back to you here in just one second. But I do want to echo what Kman was just saying about Sterling. I was looking at this, and I haven't. I am long some pound, but in different ways. Obviously, if you're in the Forex Analytics community, you know how I'm trading Sterling, or the pound, if you will. But we are at channel resistance. But one of the things I want to just talk about this really quick for those of you that are like thinking about shorting this. You know, you're like, oh, it's channel resistance. We talked about this yesterday when we were up here at 132.50. I'm like, the problem with the pound or cable, just in general, it has not pulled back. I mean, if you've been shorting this thing for the last, you can just say the last week, the pullbacks have been, it's not giving you any place to get out. It really isn't. It's been an insatiable bid. Now, obviously, the momentum is slowed. You can see it with relative strength. How we keep hitting new highs. It's very divergent. Relative strength is trying to roll over, but this doesn't mean anything because what we could do is push right into new highs, and RSI is going to be right into new highs right after that. I mean, that's how you go up, and relative strength doesn't go up because that happens, when things become more overbought. They just continue to be overbought, but Sterling's just not giving you any exits. And I would argue that while we're above 132, there's no reason to be on the short side at this point, even though there's a lot of resistance. We're at an 88% retracement. It's at channel resistance. I get all the reasons why you would want to, or it'd be kind of attractive to be on the short side from a risk reward point of view. But this thing is not giving us any exits. I mean, if you're short, you're just like, wow, this is frustrating. Obviously, if you're a buyer, you're probably thinking it's frustrating too because it's just grinding higher. But at the same time, it's grinding higher. Anyway, I just thought I'd make that point because we had a long conversation about trying to be short Sterling up here yesterday, and voila, today we're one leg higher, and I wouldn't be surprised if tomorrow we're another leg higher as well. Dale, what are you looking at today? Where's your focus going to be?
Well, I bought WTI on the crash day when it went to almost $54, and 62 is important for WTI to recover to negate the breakdown. But I've noticed it's been trading kind of hand in hand with the S&Ps,
Yeah.
and today the S&Ps are a lot weaker, and oil's hanging in there. So it needs a 62. Oh, you got a nice line in there. I think we're going to $80 in crude
Wow.
over the
So
next few
that would
months.
obviously be geopolitical risks.
Well, could be.
They ain't going to be on a boom, I don't think.
Yeah, but yeah, it could be, supply problems. But yeah, Rand's in the background is part of it. And what I'm thinking is, if it acts the way preludes to war I've seen before, you'll see when people know these negotiations aren't going anywhere, they'll start pricing in geo risk, and then when the bombs start falling, that's when you take profits on it. So it's not the opposite where you wait for the bombs to fall and then all of a sudden it's going to take off. Usually it's a run up in price into the conflict. So just I've seen it a few times.
All right,
What
very
haven't
good.
I seen, huh?
Yeah, that's right.
I've never seen you.
You've never seen me. That's true.
Yeah, anyway.
All right, so I'm just gonna continue to focus on the euro, especially while it's above the 112.70 level. Even yesterday, we went down to 112.70. We held it. Remember, that is a big breakout point from here, from the highs of 2023. Do I think the euro deserves to be where it's at? Not necessarily. I'm actually looking to sell it as we, make it towards that 117 level, Dale, that you're talking about. I'm actually
Yeah,
looking a little bit higher towards the 120 because that's going to be a pretty big
yeah,
resistance up here, maybe a big consolidation triangle resistance. I'd love to be a seller up here, but the fact of the matter is the euro is not backing away.
no.
It's just it had a triangle yesterday, did a false breakdown. Now we're at the 618. So if we break through 114 today, we're probably going to be challenging that 115 level that Ryan's so adamant about. And just keep in mind that 115 level is the 127% extension of the August 2024 highs to the lows of this year. That comes in, and that's January of this year. That comes in at 115. I do think it's going to be a big level should we get up there. I've been, pretty aggressively long the euro for the last few weeks. So, I'm going to lighten up there, but I still think it looks bullish. And despite all of the eurozone issues, remember, if you think the eurozone's got issues, well, it might be viewed as the least dirty shirt in the hamper right now. So that's kind of
Well,
why.
they're pumping, and we're going into austerity. That's what Doge is, okay? So who's going to have a stronger economy? A country that's withdrawing liquidity from its economy, or someone who's pumping it in because they need to gear up a defense?
Yeah, I mean that's the whole the Germany that set the euro off in
Yeah,
its move right here.
yeah.
I'll
That
take the other
is
side of that.
Yeah.
you want to be short euros, don't you, Ryan?
I want to be short the eurozone
You want to be short the eurozone, and look, I
Why?
do too, but not here.
because
Prices
even the
reflect
US
that.
economy falling back will probably still be doing better than the eurozone.
Yeah. That's how
I
that's how you get new highs in S&Ps. Is
Yeah,
the
well,
money maybe after we get this target, money starts flowing back into the dollar, and what are you going to do? Just sit on cash with that or invest it in stocks and bonds?
yeah, I don't know. This is
I don't
where
know.
this is where it becomes a market. I think there's going to be
Yeah.
two sides to every debate, and it's going to be two strong arguments. And I can't disagree with not wanting to be long the eurozone, but I can't deny the price action that we're seeing either. And
Yeah,
that's, ultimately that is the, I think Chris Weston said it best a couple of weeks ago. It's like the ultimate aggregator of all the shit that we're getting, the
The
shit
price.
news, the shit tariffs, the confusion, the I have no idea what the hell I'm doing. The market ultimately is deciding where price is going to go, and you have to be respectful of it. That's why sifting through all this news, it is difficult. It is because, and it's very confusing. And to say that you got a finger on the pulse of exactly what's happening with tariffs is a lie because no one does. And that's
and you know what you need to do with this when you get if we're going to get huge price moves. Okay, we've done what 900 pips from the 105s in euro dollar. Okay, we're not breaking out into 50-year territories or anything like that. But when you get big moving shifts in prices like this, you've got to change your mindset to more of an investor than a trader. Because if you're going to be hitting some big old historical decades old levels on the fundamentals, then that's when you've got to think, well, you know, is this going to be real? Is the US going to fall off the planet because it's going to have a recession for the next 15 years over this stuff? Or is this just short term noise, whether that lasts 6 months, 2 weeks, or 2 years? So you've got to move into a bit of an investing mindset. Because if you don't believe that the US is going to disappear up its own backside in the next 10 years, then this is a buying opportunity, or
yeah.
maybe a buying opportunity at some point.
That's true, and I think it will be, and I think the dollar, like I said, S&P below 4,800. I'm buying dollars hand over fist. I don't care what's going on at that moment. I'm just buying dollars, because when push comes to shove, the whole milkshake theory I am in agreement with it. It may not be working right now because, you're seeing a diversification away from the dollar, but that's like imagine the tide going way out and you're going to see who's naked and who doesn't own enough dollars, and they're going to find out when we drop below 4,800 in my view. Hey, one other thing, you guys are talking about gold. I mean, everybody should be talking about gold right now. Let's not ignore the fact that gold, and this is a scary thing. When you go from channel to ascending channel, we're in literally blow off top territory. And I'm not saying that gold's gonna have that, but we've been talking about it for weeks. When the structure goes like this, you go channel to channel. What do you go to channel? Yeah, you're in blow off top. That's what's happening right now. We are in a blow off top situation. And you guys have heard me talk about it a lot over the last couple of weeks. And I don't know where gold's going to stop. I mean, everybody's like, oh, I have an upside target of 3,500, which, that's the 261% extension, which obviously with the flag, I mean, that's the target right here. I mean, that makes technical sense. But could we go past that? Yeah. Could we trade to 4,000 to 5,000 in a blow off top scenario? Why couldn't we? And those are the questions I ask. And that's why if you're thinking about even shorting gold, that should be like the last thing on your mind right now is you're either getting on the train or you just, you stand aside. You don't get in front of it right now because it looks like a runaway freight train right now. So, do you guys have any other last comments before we go? Kman, Ryan, Dale?
No, nothing to add.
85 in the bonds is like 4,800 in the S&Ps.
Are you talking about the 30-year?
TLT.
Oh, TLT. All right. Well, let's.
Yeah, I trade TLT.
Okay. All right. So,
So
88.
85 is like 4,800.
Oh, you think so? You think if
Just
that
as
if we
important.
trade down there to 80,
Close under
85,
80. Yeah,
that's
look
going
at
to put
weekly.
the S&P at 4,800. That makes sense.
No, I'm saying it's the same. The importance of that level is just as important as 4,800 is to
I
the
see what you're
S&Ps.
talking about. You're like if this breaks,
Yeah,
that's like the run for the
new
hills type
lows.
of.
Yeah, new
Yeah.
lows coming.
All right. All right. Good point, Dale. And I agree with you. So, guys, let me reiterate. If you took advantage of the liberation offer, which you should, because this is $3 a day, basically, is what it comes out to. It's like 80 some bucks a month, $85 or something like that. It is a deal that we've never enacted, but if you do it, just remember everything is manual. So if for some reason you get charged the 149 or whatever it is, we just have to manually change you and refund you. And don't worry, then you'll be good after that. So make sure that if you're a current subscriber, you have to go and change your own settings. And if you have a hard time doing that, just go over here to talk to Emma. She's awesome. You can talk to her about, and she'll help you out. But guys, thanks for joining us today. It's a hell of a market, hell of a time to be trading. Wouldn't you guys agree?
Yeah.
It's
See,
great time to be a trader.
Love financial Disneyland.
Yeah, woo! It is. It's
What
like
ride will we get on today, Dad? Right.
I'm looking at that TLT ride. Like maybe I should be jumping on that
It's
one.
like the Matterhorn.
Yeah,
Right.
the Matterhorn. I love the Matterhorn. All
Yeah.
right. It's a small world after all. Sing it for us,
Yeah.
Dale. All
Oh my
right.
God, I can't really do a what were those people called in Wizard of Oz? The Munchkins? Yeah,
Yes.
I can't do those guys. I'm more of an Elvis. Anyway, listen, everyone, have a great day. We've had some quakes around here. I mean, my house got shook pretty good. I put
Yeah, there's
shake.
a six in San Diego. My buddy sent a
Yeah,
picture of all the kids underneath the desk because he happened to
yeah,
be at school with his son. Yeah,
and they're
yeah.
getting them in Northern Cal too. I mean, the Ring of Fire, Johnny
Andreas Fault
Cash.
Line.
Yeah. Anyway, you'll have beachfront by the end of the year. Blake.
Yuma Beach. Looking forward to it.
Everyone, don't just count your pips, count your blessings. If you want to be liberated, get better. Find a way to do it. And, you know, everyone makes a big deal out of being independent. You know, cooperation and collaboration is really when we make progress in anything. So have a great day, everyone. We'll wrap up the week tomorrow. I have James Henry Anderson, uh, you know, physical metal guy. Maybe he could tell us when the train stops, but you know, he's not only bullish because he's been in business, he got into the business because he was worried about fiat. So we'll see what James has to say tomorrow. Have a great day. Don't just count your pips, count your blessings. Thank you very much, Ryan. It's great to have the team back in full strength, Kman.
Thanks, mate.
You guys are, you know, a couple of hombres that wandered into Forex Analytics and made us better. So have a great day, everyone.
Thanks,
Enjoy.
Coach. You
All
too.
right. See you
Thanks,
guys. See you
guys.
tomorrow. Adios.